the New Zealand All Blacks, and the haka led by number 8 Zinzanbrooke. Grass where they are standing during the haka doesn't seem to have done them too much damage. The field is surprisingly good for this afternoon's game. We have a crowd in attendance at Eden Park today of close to 45,000. As you can see from this shot, it's very close to being jam-packed at the park today. You couldn't get tickets in the city last night, and we're all set now for hopefully a good game. The referee has come a long way. From Scotland, the criminal lawyer from Edinburgh, Ray Mexon, his 10th test. Tim Gavin, one of the most experienced and hard men of the Australian team, playing at number 8 today and marking Zinzanbrooke. And John Eales, a vital man at line-out time for them this afternoon. And his contest at the line-outs against this man will be one of the vital and most vital parts of the game. In fact, who's going to get that line-out ball from the middle? Robin Brooks set to catch the ball from the kick-off, assisted by Craig Dowd. That's how it's done these days. And all is in place for the Bledisloe Cup, currently held by Australia. Matthew Burke, the 22-year-old fullback, is going to start the game, and there's the first indication of the role the weather is going to play. The ball blew over right at kick-off time. And another of the imponderables, can big Jonah Lomu get the motor running today in these slippery conditions? Jeff Wilson on the other wing. So Matthew Burke begins. Referee Mexon's call. The lift on Robin Brooke. They missed the kick-off, didn't control it, and across the touchline the ball tumbles. Bledisloe Cup Rugby live on One World of Sport from Eden Park in Auckland, getting set. Mark Hartle in the front row. Warwick War there. And with me in the commentary box today, former All Black coach John Hart.
The wind playing its part in that game there, with the All Blacks unable to control the ball, with swirling over their heads, their line out.
There's the new Australian halfback, Steve Merrick, and there's the new Australian winger, Joe Roth. Merrick out to Scott Bowen, and here comes a repeat of that first moment. That's Sydney last year. Glenn Osmond got up, and the crowd recognised the moment. But there's the goal line, and the ball for Australia. Merrick, a big charge by Damien Smith. Corner flag in the background. Good start, Australia. Warwick War, 3 metres out. Merrick handles again. Bowen, Daniel Manu, his first touch in the Australian jersey against his old teammates, a lot of them. Look at Australia, pass the ball. The All Blacks in strong defence in the early moments. And the young halfback in his test debut, it's a debut of 5 for Merrick, and the early penalty goes for offside play to the Wallabies.
Well, you saw some excellent defence by the All Blacks there, particularly out wide at the start. Jeff Wilson stopped a certain try. Then Zinzanbrooke made a big tackle on Daniel Manu. But finally, the All Blacks have been caught offside. He signalled it early as I think it's Offengangawi crashing forward, and the ball doesn't get freed from here, and the referee goes back to the penalty. The All Blacks offside at ruck time.
Willie Offengangawi went to school here in Auckland, made the New Zealand schoolboys team. So Willie Offengangawi, New Zealand raised, on one side of the Australian scrum today. And on the other side, Daniel Manu, who used to play here in Auckland, the ex-Penrose High School boy, ex-Carlton under-21 player, went to Ponsonby, Auckland under-21s, New Zealand Colts, and now playing for Australia. Matthew Burke to have the shot at goal after just 3 minutes. taking over and filling the big boots of goal kicker Michael Liner, who's retired. Sends it spinning through the posts. A good start for Burke. And for the Wallabies, they lead by 3-0.
Well, it was an excellent start by Australia. An excellent kick from first 5-8. Osborne equal to the take, but then the ruck was won, and 4 or 5 times the Wallabies surged at the line. All Black defence held, but the Wallabies would have to be very pleased with that start because they're coming into this game lacking a little confidence, and they need to start well.
So there are the two number 10s, Scott Bowen, and here's Andrew Mehrtens. Jonah Lomu, big man.
Split the kickoffs here. They've got men on both sides of the field, taking the Australians both ways.
Australia will be watching their World Cup videos. It's a little short stabbing one. Jones tips it to Opa Hengawe, 40 metres out. Tim Gavin is number 8. Willie O, number 6, Opa Hengawe. And to the left is Steve Merrick, 26-year-old, playing his first test match today. There he is, away to Scott Bowen. And Cronfeld gave him a bit of a hurry along. Pretty good kick by Bowen.
Well played, Bowen. He got on the outside of Cronfeld, got into the gap, and has angled the kick in behind the All Black back line to send them 3 or 4 yards inside the 22 metres. This will be a vital part of the game today, Keith, where the height advantage is definitely with the Wallabies.
Number 5, John Eales. Craig down at the front. Warwick War, number 4. Robin Brook, a big jump, and held up at the top of the jump. Basham is the New Zealand halfback to the right, and Fitzpatrick is standing off, covering the blind side. Mehrtens. That's a hard thump. Burke, is he going to have a droppy? Snap shot. Matthew Burke. Osborne's got it covered. Crowd calling for Osborne to consider running it out, but the safety first.
I think the lessons learned from the World Cup would tell you not to try and run out from there.
A hard kick there by Mehrtens, John, and it wobbled into midfield.
Under a lot of pressure too, Keith, at kick time. The Wallabies really put them under pressure.
The Aussies have an early penalty. Gavin, Ian Jones getting up high.
Superb commitment there from Ian Jones. He challenged Gavin, went over the top and won the ball for the All Black scrum. Watch for Lomu early.
There's Lomu away to the right. Can they get him in for a big charge? Taking it out to a new position from number 8, Zinzan Brook. Now Basham up to Lomu. And Bowen made the first tackle. Didn't quite have real momentum going. Mehrtens gently pushing into the breeze, and that's a good one. Burke, who's played very well at fullback. Lomu. Got his pass in field. Mehrtens. They are going to try and move it. Penalty for New Zealand.
The referee has penalised the Australians for getting offside at the ruck, round the edge of the ruck, as Lomu threw the ball back infield. But a very risky pass here from Andrew Mehrtens. But fortunately, the mistake had been made earlier.
But the instinct is there, John, to keep it going.
Yes, and Jonah Lomu certainly trying to get into the game early. Very strong, but so was Matthew Burke, equal to the task. He went in on the tackle. And gee whiz, the Wallabies won't want to see this fellow getting too much space today.
Let's go to Greg Cooper on the sideline. We'll have Greg with you shortly. Here's Mehrtens kicking for goal. Across the breeze and into it. Well hit. Holding up. Joe Roth touches for the first time out in the open play. We have a first chance to have a look at him as a test player. Big, strong winger. Tough job to fill the role of David Campese, who's not in the Wallaby team today. Quick throw and taken, Basham. Mehrtens. Walter Little. Willie O has him. No, he doesn't. It's a setup for Basham. Well done. Lomu and Smith. And Horan.
Well, the All Blacks certainly showing their intentions of trying to move the ball, but so far the Wallaby defence equal to the occasion.
Well, Greg, on the sideline, you'd be getting a bit frightened with Lomu coming past you so close, so fast.
Oh, he's a great side, isn't he? Running strongly, looking for action. There's a real hunger on his face.
Into the back line again. Little. Mehrtens with the drop kick. Excellent goal. It's so cool and calm and so strong into the wind.
Well, that was a magnificent line-out win for New Zealand, but Mehrtens has kicked this straight as an arrow from about 35 metres out. But that started from an Australian throw and an All Black win. Good, strong ruck. The tackle was made, but so was the ruck. Mehrtens well back and kicked straight and in through the goal.
Well, so much for the win, John. That was about 40 metres out, and it went straight over. Now, Mehrtens in the action again from the kickoff. 3-all, and the time gone 10 minutes.
Wasted kick there from Matthew Burke, kicking over the goal line. Very good line-out start, New Zealand. Clean take at the front by Robin Brooke, and now a sneering catch of John Eales.
Smith waiting near halfway. Damien Smith. First ever match on Eden Park for him. Merrick. Osborne waiting.
Not a good kick from the debutant halfback, far too deep.
Not a good kick from the New Zealand fullback, hasn't found his touch. There's Burke, pushing it high. Mehrtens, he'll have to play this one out.
Oh.
Some odd kicking going on in this game. Manu. Merrick.
Good blindside defence from Graham Basham. Merrick taking a little while, in my view, to settle into the mode of the speed of Test match rugby. Just a little slow on the clearance. Not looking to kick too accurately. Not a good start.
A particularly blustery breeze coming down Eden Park at the moment as we look at Steve Merrick. Look at the wind there lashing in. Tipped on the Aussie side. Merrick away to Bowen in front of him. Too little. Did he tap it forward? Where was the referee? Didn't quite see that one. Perhaps referee Megson from Scotland. Merrick. Willie O. Kearns. Manu. Lost forward, right on the line.
Well, he has said that the Wallabies have knocked the ball on. What a brilliant defensive tackle again from Jeff Wilson. His captain, Manu, probably should have let the ball go outside him. He was in the clear outside. Wilson came off the wing and made the save.
Great chance for Australia, though. Merrick, Gavin. Not controlled by Tim Gavin.
Good scrum from the All Blacks, putting the heat on the Wallabies, and Merrick couldn't control the ball.
Look at the advantage that Australia has with this massive pack today. 902 kilograms, 72 more than New Zealand. Basham, who today is the New Zealand Test record-setting halfback with his 30th Test match this afternoon. Made his debut for the All Blacks way back in '87 when John Hart was coaching the team, and here we are in '95. He sets the record, passes the great Sid Going. Merrick buried by the bruiser. Mike Brewer, Joe Roff is in there, the rain lashing in.
Well, prior to the game, the Wallabies had taken a risk in changing George Gregan, and so far I don't think the risk is paying off for them. Merrick is just getting under pressure and not able to clear the ball when it's not controlled to him.
Brooke, Cronfeld, halfway. Tackled by Daniel Manu. Look at that rain. Bunts. Caught by Jason Little, the two number 13s. Lomu joining in the maul. Fitzpatrick diving in over the top.
All Black forwards going in very, very physically in the rucks and the mauls and making the hits.
New Zealand front row, the Auckland front row, the local players, Fitzpatrick, Brown and Manu.
Whilst the Wallabies have a heavy scrum weight advantage, I don't believe their scrummaging technique is necessarily anywhere near the All Blacks, and that's going to be a key factor in this game on a slippery track.
Steve Merrick, the truck driver from Singleton, Northern New South Wales, number 9, drives the coal truck. Back to Burke. It's a terribly wet afternoon right now in Auckland. Osborne with Lomu. Glenn Osborne, a lovely runner. Floating his pass, Wilson. Rock makes the tackle. What a thrilling run by Osborne and then by Jeff Wilson. Tremendous to watch. Merrick, Scott Bowen, and there's the defensive push by the Wallabies, but great play and a great run by Wilson.
There's the brilliance of Osborne and Wilson. Osborne steps through the midfield, throws a wide pass, and Wilson does well. Roff had gone inside looking for action. Wilson's on the clear. Have a look at John Eales in here. The ball's thrown in, and I think it's Eales, or is it? No, it might have been Jason Little, who made a very important save. Kicked out into touch, and now it's New Zealand ball to line out.
Fitzpatrick, some line out pushing. Outside arm no called by the referee. Zinzan Brook, New Zealand have come to play at pace even though the rain is tumbling down. So they're going to try a set play. Who's going to be in this one? Somebody may come running in from the right and go through the middle. Olo Brown. The tackler was Mark Hartill. And now Cronfeld. Basham, Walter Little, Wilson, that little netball pass. And now the orthodox rugby pass. Lomu coming. Damien Smith the clearance.
Good play, Andrew Mehrtens. Good play, Damien Smith. It was a difficult ball to get going backwards with Lomu and Frank Bunce appearing, but he kept his cool. Well read here by Mehrtens. He knew the backs were up. He chipped in behind. There was not much cover coming. The bounce was kind for Smith, and he clears the touch.
3 points each. 18 minutes gone. The New Zealand halfback, number 9, Basham, barking the orders at his forwards. Dowd got that one. Mehrtens. The Lomu charge. 5 meters out. That was tremendous by Jonah Lomu. Bunce now. Wide to Wilson. Strong Australian defence. And Merritt under pressure again to clear. Skied that one. New Zealand have it. Kronfeld. Basham off the floor. Brewer. For those Aussies offside. Basham again. Mehrtens. Wide to Lomu, who pulls it in. Jason Little, I think, is the man penalised, and it's right out in front at the end of the first quarter.
Well, watch here. I think he penalises Jason Little for going across in front of the ball and then trying to win it. And it's a very easy kick for Andrew Mehrtens in front of the post. You said excellent Wallaby defence. It was desperate defence. The All Blacks are really putting it to the Wallabies with the ball in hand at the moment.
Through it goes. The Australian captain won't be happy. It's 6-3. New Zealand lead at the end of the first quarter of the Bledisloe Cup test at Auckland 95. Bob Dwyer, the Wallaby coach, sitting in the stands.
The penalty comes directly from a mistake from Merrick at halfback, who had plenty of time to clear, miscued into the middle. The ensuing play led to the ruck in the midfield.
Let's watch the jump up by Brook this time. You see him held up. With not so much wind that time, so he controlled it beautifully.
In this game, by contrast, we're seeing some superb clearance of the ball from Graham Basham, giving Andrew Mehrtens that extra bit of time, so vital when conditions are difficult.
Phil Kearns. Robin Brook claimed that one nicely. Let's go to the side now. Greg Cooper.
Real conditions on the sideline here. Obviously a bit slippery on top, but the Australians must be concerned. They're playing with the wind. 20 minutes gone now, and it's 6-3 to the All Blacks. They must be concerned about that.
No tries in the game yet. Merrick. Scott Bowen. Osborne decides to have a go. Excellent kick forward by Osborne. The referee says he's got to run it out. Joe Roth.
Well, Roth nearly got himself into tremendous trouble then. He touched the ball before it went over the goal line, so he was told he had to play it, and he didn't look confident, but finally manages to clear for touch. Australians starting to wobble a little.
A tremendous run there from fullback by Glenn Osborne here. Just his 7th test. Remember, earlier this season he made his debut against Canada. 23 years of age, from just over the bridge in the North Harbour of this city of Auckland. And wherever you are watching in the world, we welcome you to this live telecast from One World of Sport at Eden Park in Auckland. The big crowd is in. The excitement is there. There's a tremendous rivalry between New Zealand and Australia dating back to 1903. This is the 99th test match. The two teams have played each other. New Zealand have had 66 wins, Australia 27 and 5 draws, but in the 1990s, the last 9 test matches, New Zealand's won 3 and Australia 6. It's 15 metres out. It's on the New Zealand side. Two captains of the two number 2s.
Knock on from the Australians. Scrum to the All Blacks. Good attacking position. Lomu positioned out wide, outside first or second. Is he decoyed or is he used?
Brook, Basham. It's Bunce to Lomu. Used outside the centre. Hooked a pass to Wilson. Osmond caught by Tim Gavin, number 8. Lomu back to Basham. Andrew Mehrtens caught by his opposite number. Look at this great control by the New Zealand team. Basham. Brook. He's kicked it for the corner. Wilson onto Burke. And under real pressure, that's not a bad effort by Matthew Burke to get it away to touch way up here towards the 10-metre mark. There he is, Matthew Burke, number 15, was the man of the match last Sunday in that interstate game between New South Wales and Queensland, and man of the series. Played it very well, remember, in the quarterfinal when Australia lost to England.
The Australians been really put to the sword by an All Black side, hell-bent on moving the ball.
Come on, All Black. Drive it. Black.
Jones at the back. Kronfeld, Dowd number 1. Brewer was hanging off, taking it up the advantage line. Look at the control here and the handling, and the floating pass is going to hand. Fitzpatrick caught by his old rival Kearns. Walter Little. Mehrtens. That was a good tackle by Bowen. And the penalties are against number 1, Dan Crowley, I think. It's going to be a shot. Kearns asking the referee what for. Let's go to Greg Cooper again on the sideline.
Well, Keith, I'm right behind this kick of Andrew Mehrtens. The wind will push it slightly across field, so if anything, it'll fade from left to right as he sees it. Not an easy kick. It's still into that breeze, but it is going across field.
Big Dan Crowley, his 17th Test match today, has kept Tony Daly out of the Australian team. Some famous New Zealanders on the reserves bench. Richard Lowe, if he comes on, it'll be 48 tests. "26 minutes gone, first half, 6-3 to New Zealand." You saw it straighten up and fade a bit, and it went through 9-3.
It's a magnificent kick from Andrew Mehrtens. Into the breeze, he judged it perfectly and he hit it straight and true. A deserved lead for the All Blacks. They played the rugby.
New Zealand are playing into the strong wind here at Eden Park, and they're leading by 9-3. And they're playing without distraction. That's what I like at the moment. They are holding their passes. Okay, there's a kick which hasn't found touch, which has got them into trouble. But overall, New Zealand dominating as we head towards the half hour in the game, 9-3.
Those little mistakes of Andrew Mehrtens, you know, missing touch. You can't afford to do that. Matthew Burke returns with interest into the corner.
Who's on the ball?
Claimed nicely by number 5, Robin Brook. The driver's on. Good hard-working New Zealand pack. That pleases the crowd. Tipped off Hingawa's fingers. Burke. Oh, beautiful runner, Burke. And now Bowen. And now Horan. And wide to Damien Smith. Jonah Lomu is ahead. Jason Little. Gavin ripped it from his teammate Jason Little. There's Merrick away. Scott Bowen. Tim Horan. Merrick again. It's very close now. Scott Bowen. Jason Little. But it's Australia 6 or 7 metres out. Manu has lost it.
It's a crucial loss for the Australians. Manu had the ball. His forwards were coming in behind him, and he's lost it forward and given the All Blacks the scrum from which they can defend and hopefully clear the touch. Very big difference in the two scrums, Keith. The All Black scrum is rock solid as against the Australian scrum.
Well, Pat Howard is warming up on the sideline.
Matthew Burke, I thought, looked as though he had a hamstring problem earlier, and it looks as though it may well be him that's coming to the sideline. He has certainly strained his hamstring, and that's a big loss for the Australians. Takes out their goal kicker and means that they have to drop Tim Horan to fullback.
So Pat Howard is into the game. He played last year at Sydney, and he played, of course, in his debut game at Dunedin in '93. Didn't have a hell of a happy time that day. And New Zealand won 25-10.
Tim Horan often being talked about as a fullback. He's going to get his chance today.
He was picked on the wing for Queensland last week, John. He's very versatile, we know that. Here are the Aussie backs with new man Howard looking sharp there as he takes it through. Son of a Wallaby player. Warwick War taking it on, but then heads backwards. Merrick, Bowen, Little. Good work by Little. Well handled that time by Merrick. Hook back on the New Zealand side. A counter-attack. Bunce. 22-metre line. Bashop. Beautiful hands, Mehrtens. Wilson. Look at that from the All Blacks.
Well played, New Zealand. Won the ball back after an Australian attack. The New Zealand defence is very strong. The Australians are getting isolated on the tackle, and the All Blacks are winning the rucks.
There are the New Zealand backs lined out. 35 metres out from the Australian line. It's been quite close territorially. We have 9 minutes to go till half-time. 9-3. New Zealand lead. Australia have the advantage of the strong wind. There's their captain, Kearns. Taken quickly by Merrick. There should be a 10 metres there added on for not retiring by Craig Dowd. They might have a shot from here. Who have they got in the goal-kicking department now? Maybe Joe Roth.
Probably John Eales maybe would be their backup goal kicker.
Steve Merrick, the halfback, is down. Well, George Gregan on the reserves bench, the man who was such a sensation last year, decides to start warming up.
Not so sure this wouldn't be a bad replacement at the moment.
And John Eales getting set to have a shot at goal. Now, this is well within the range of the big lock forward Eales. He is a very good goal kicker, but with Michael Liner around, he hasn't been doing much goal kicking. But remember, he came on in the World Cup, took the place of Burke in the goal kicking in the game against Romania, and banged over 4 sideline conversions, 4 out of 4. He's a very good goal kicker. Makes you wonder, too, when you think about the forwards getting their legs knocked about and stood on and scraped right through the game, and then to come up and do the exact science of goal kicking. Let's go to the sideline now. Greg Kirby, you know more about it than me, mate.
Well, Keith, it's not an easy kick for John Eales, but as you said, he is a very fine goal kicker. And if he can get the ball up there, the wind will do the rest. But John Eales, no, I'm sure he's the man for the occasion.
He's favouring the use of the sand. There's a great story in Brisbane Club Rugby how he was in a maul one stage, ripped the ball out of the maul and let fly with a drop kick from near halfway, and through it went. Ewan McKenzie, Michael Foley. And the ball has fallen over for the second time. Troy Coker there, the Aussie reserves, nudging each other. They're on TV. Hello, mum, and all that. Strong wind this afternoon, ripping at the fraying edges of the flags up there. It was low and flat all the way and came under the posts. No change, 9-3. 7 minutes till half time.
Good clearance, Andrew Mehrtens. He's kicked it low into the wind and has found touch back up near halfway. The All Blacks could be well pleased with this first half so far.
Well, Eales may have another shot from the same place.
I'm not sure. I think it might be just outside his distance, Keith.
Yeah, it is. The centre's just a bit far. Scott Bowen for position instead.
The Wallabies would have to score to get in here. Watch Ian Jones. He goes, Robin Brooke, he goes through, and the referee adjudged he's gone right through the line out in an offside position.
Merrick away to Bowen. To Daniel Manu, the ex-Auckland fella playing against a few of his old teammates today. Oh, the boot went in there. The boot went in from one of the Aussie players. I think it might have been, we better not say maybe, looked like Dan Crowley to me. Merrick, Bowen, Jason Little, Willie-O, a try. The Tongan torpedo is in. 34 minutes gone.
Good pressure from the Wallabies. Merrick swings it to Bowen. It's inside to Little. He breaks the tackle of Basham, and often Ngawi, it comes in whilst Bunce holds him momentarily. Often Ngawi's got too much power and has gone across for the try. Bowen does well. He turns it inside when the action was outside. Little stayed on his feet. There was a big hit from Bunce, but the big Tongan, he can't be stopped, and he scored a very good try at a vital stage, I'd say, for the Wallabies.
So Australia trying their third goal kicker now, Joe Roth from Australian Capital Territory. And they have success, and they have the lead. So 5 minutes to go till half-time. The Willie-O try is scored. Let's go back to that other incident. Look at number 1, Dan Crowley. Look at the right boot of number 1, the left boot, sorry. He kicked that man in the face there, and it's clearly seen on the video. It's 10 points to 9, Australia lead.
Well, it didn't look good on the video. The referee at the time said he was kicking at the ball. Rather a different coloured ball to the one we normally play with.
There he is, the big private investigator, Dan Crowley. Up the top there, it says 4 minutes to go till half-time. New Zealand have worked hard, but are now behind. The Aussies having a good patch here. And Pat Howdish looking sharp at inside centre. Jones through on Merrick. Mark Hartle has picked the ball up near halfway. Another good kick by Scott Bowen. First game here on Eden Park, but he tells us he came here as a schoolboy with his Newington College team back in '89 and watched the All Blacks play France. So he's been here before.
Strong wind, 10-9 mightn't be enough.
6, 4, 7, 9, 5.
All Blacks sorting to throw. Ian Jones.
Zinzanbrook. Nice push through, but well slid by Tim Horan. Now Damien Smith thrown down by Lomu.
Well played, Tim Horan. Showed real class. The ball was slipping towards him. He slid into it, got his feet, and cleared to his winger well.
7, 5, 3.
He's a class act, Tim Horan, his 37th test.
3-4 drive. Come on, Gav.
Daniel Manu got that one.
Stay.
Fumble, mix up, Pat Howard. Merrick. Good break by Merrick. Good tackle by Brooke. Zinzan.
But the experience or inexperience then showed, because there was a try on 50 or 60 metres out, and Merrick took the tackle when a quick pass would have put his winger in the clear.
Yes, he went a bit too wide, once a bit too often.
7, 9, 2.
The rain has gone away. It's quite a still afternoon. Well, it's in terms of rain at the moment, nothing falling. The wind is still there. Basham, a fumble. No, he says no fumble, the referee. Straight to Bunce. To Jeff Wilson. Good tackle by Horan. Bunsen Roth, Jason Little and Walter Little. The two little guys.
Well, very interesting then. The All Blacks had, I believe, probably 2 knock-ons in that play. Jeff Wilson's running really strongly on the right wing for New Zealand. Frank Bunce comes in defence. He's held up by Rob. And it's Jason Little who gets in between. It's a line out. The All Blacks on attack.
Wilson in sharp form. Well, Confell, I think, is going to be... no, he's penalised Sean Fitzpatrick for taking far too long to throw in. Merrick. Good tackle by Brewer. Lost forward. Advantage for New Zealand, according to referee Mexon. And here they have it. Cronfell taking it on. Backs line out in attacking formation. Osborne left out. Little through. He took the tackle. It looked like it wasn't quite a clear pass to Lomu.
Wallabies really rattled under pressure there, but the All Blacks have been penalised for offside. Great break. Walter Little went straight through Pat Howard. We may get a view of it. We'll get a view of Bowen dropping the ball. Bunce was penalised for being offside. Not a great left foot clearing kick.
He's a bit better off the right foot, Scott Bowen. And there is the half-time whistle. Australia, a late try to Willie O, has inched them into the lead, but a good first half by New Zealand and an exciting second half to come. 10-9, Australia lead. Today's referee is Ray Mexon of Scotland, and Andrew Mehrtens begins the second 40 minutes. Australia ahead by 1. And it's their little scrum half, Steve Merrick, as we go to Greg Cooper on the sideline.
Yes, Keith, Laurie Mains has asked his team to play in the opposition half, but don't stop the tempo, keep the game going, keep attacking, move the ball around. They've got the Australians on the rack, but obviously just keep attacking them all throughout the second half.
Thanks, Greg Cooper, former All Black fullback, who's on the sideline. Here's the ball claimed by Josh Cronfeld. Nicely away to Mehrtens from Basham. The high test for Horan, the new fullback. Brave catch by Tim Horan. Away to his great pal, Jason Little. Now Merrick taking it forward. 10 metres out. Mark Hartle, number 3. Merrick, he's a good runner. And he bounces out into space. 40 metres out from the Australian line. So Joe Roth plays halfback. Away to Scott Bowen, to Damien Smith. Australia are going to try and move it around too, it would seem.
Well, a lot of action out there at Eden Park. Brilliant take by Tim Horan. Jason Little saves. and they brought the ball out with a very good break from their halfback Merrick. Gaining in confidence, he broke from that ruck, and they're up into the 10-metre mark, and it's their scrum.
In the second half, it's Olo Brown on the near side of the scrum against Dan Crowley. The Aussie backs set out to left and right. And a reset straight away from the start. Steve Merrick, you know, 3 weeks ago, he was the number 4 halfback in New South Wales. Here he is on the field for Australia.
He's penalised the All Blacks.
Merrick off a Hengawe. Brooke tumbles him down. Kearns squeezed out of it like a lemon pip and went forward. And it's New Zealand ball. That's one that could be put down to the weather.
All Blacks penalised for pushing over the scrum mark. And now it's their time, their turn. They've certainly looked strong under their ball.
Bishop. Mehrtens kicking for Lomu, and there's a long bouncing ball. Lomu going through strongly, but it's beaten of the touch. Good kick again by Mehrtens.
Well played, Andrew Mehrtens. Good scrum, good clearance from Bishop. Mehrtens angles it away, and Horan couldn't get to it. And now we're 15 metres out from the Wallaby line. Wallaby line out.
So pressure on Philip Kearns, captaining Australia for the 9th time today. Pulling down on the jumpers.
Well, certainly in the middle of a line-out, there's a lot of action going on, not a lot of height. There's a lot going on and pulling jerseys and trying to stop the opposition getting up. Not a great clearance kick.
That was Scott Bowen's kick. John Eales with the double mouth guard, top and bottom jaw of his jaw covered. Warwick Moore got the jump. Merrick. Yeah, they should rip that one away on the All Black side. That's a penalty. Players diving in. And Manu and Bishop having a tussle.
Wallabies penalised for playing the ball on the ground and then getting offside. On 2 occasions, he said, there could be a double penalty.
Here it is. Down it goes there. See how it came on the New Zealand side. And then a man dives on it here.
And I think he first called the penalty earlier, actually, for the playing of the ball on the ground in the tackle by the halfback.
That was Tim Gavin. He and John Eales were the only players to play all 4 games at the World Cup. Mehrtens. Mark Ellis in the reserves. Andrew Mehrtens, the quickest player in rugby history to reach 100 points in tests. He got there in 5 games. He's averaging 18.6 points per test match. So there's Mehrtens' kick on its way, and New Zealand are back in the lead.
Excellent kick, Andrew Mehrtens. Kicking with a lot of confidence. Put the All Blacks back in front. They certainly will be looking to play the game in Wallaby territory, and the Wallabies, under pressure, conceding penalties.
Scott Bowen kicked off. There's the jump again from Brook, but it bounced from his hands into the control of the Wallabies. Merrick, Bowen, Jason Little. His centre pairing with Tim Horan's been broken up with Matthew Burke going off, and here's Australia's chance to get the lead back.
I think you'll find that he's penalised them for blocking the ball by going over the top. Initially, I think it may have been Mike Brewer.
Michael Jones stretching and warming up behind the New Zealand bench.
What a great sight to have coming onto a field if you needed him at this stage. Probably a sight the All Blacks might have liked to have seen at the World Cup as they went to their final.
Hugely popular and respected man in New Zealand.
Normally quite an easy kick for an international goal kicker, Keith, but for one who's come in today to be number 3, not that easy.
He's a left-footer, Joe Roff. Through it goes. A very good kick. Matthew Burke, who was the goal kicker before the game, applauds, and Australia have the lead by 1.
Well struck, Joe Ropp, youngster, playing Test rugby, big call on him then, and he kicked it straight down the middle.
So there are the two New Zealand educated players who are playing for Australia today, Manu and Opahengawe. As Mehrtens kicks out, Australia have the lead again. Taken in by Warwick War. Crowley's going to maul it. Gavin. Philip Kearns. Towards halfway. Bowen. Howard. Horan up. Got his pass in field, claimed by Ian Jones, I think it was. All Blacks, will they counter-attack from here? Mehrtens puts the big thump in with the win. It's gone to Roff in midfield. Joe Roff, the 19-year-old from ACT. We said that about David Campese in 1982. And look what a glittering career he had in rugby. Well passed to the Aussies again, and well played Australia. They have the lead by 13-12, and they profited then from a kick by Mehrtens, which did not find the line.
Well, it was an absolute nothing kick. I mean, he should have been finding touch. Went down the middle. Joe Roff looked a bit uncertain, took the gamble, managed to break the tackles. Fortunately for him, because he may have been in big trouble. But now it's the All Blacks defending.
The 22-metre line to the left. Bowen, Howard, Merrick, Scott Bowen wide for Damien Smith. Osborne takes it out by the corner and gets a hearty boo from the crowd over there for putting his arm up high on Glenn Osborne.
Well played, Australia. Kicked in behind Jonah Lomu. Glenn Osborne had nothing to do, could do nothing else but take it to touch. And now Phil Kearns prepares to throw to a line out only 3 metres from the All Black line.
13-12, Australia lead. 11 minutes gone, second half. Pulled in by Ian Jones. Offside by Australian players. Referee Ray Mixon, who actually lived for quite a number of years in Australia, I think for about 12 years of his young life, before heading back to Scotland. And there is an injured player.
Brooke, I think, is injured. Enter Michael Jones.
Brooke is off, and I guess a lot of people predicted this in many ways. And listen for the cheer. Michael Jones wants to get into the game. He can't go on. Brian Sterling, the Irish touch judge there, he can't go on till there's a doctor's clearance on Zinzan Brooke.
One of the more ridiculous rules in international rugby. The man's injured, he's coming off, he doesn't want to stay on the field. And here we have an entry into one of Auckland's famous All Blacks, Michael Jones. Most respected player around the world. What a player to have coming in here now when you need some extra dynamic loose forward display.
Absolutely, and what a reception he's got. Zinzanbrook is gone from the game. Basham. Look at Manu after Mehrtens. Walter Little. Wilson, this is lovely play. Osborne. Bunce. Kronfeld running that same line in the World Cup to be on the receipt of the wide pass. And that was New Zealand breaking out with real style.
Great All Black skills. Basham putting Mehrtens on the outside, and the backs having space for, once again, Jeff Wilson to make ground.
What a game this young man is having, Jeff Wilson. Just his second test match in New Zealand. It's a tap from a free kick. Jones was hit hard. That's Ian Jones. Kronfeld. Basham. Wilson up, and skillful play again to drop the ball onto his toe.
I think the All Blacks may have come the wrong way then. There was a big lineup out left, and Graham Basham has come back right where the angle was narrow.
To Greg Cooper on the sideline.
Well, Keith, just a little bit of tightness in the lower part of Zinzanbrook's calf muscle. Nothing too serious. More of a precaution in these slippery, soft conditions.
Scott Boat hit by Kronfeld. The ball has gone to space. An awkward bounce. Osborne has it. That's against Frank Bunce, who was obstructing the Australian chasers coming through as the rain starts again.
Frank Bunce accused by the referee of running as a block. As Glenn Osborne let the ball bounce, it bounced forward back towards the Australians, and he has made the mistake for the Wallabies now to kick it goal.
Well, a lot of rumours and innuendo about the All Blacks this week. All this talk about professional contracts and rebel troops of rugby players. The latest rumour, which is at Eden Park today, is sourced to a very high place, says that the New Zealand Rugby Football Union is now saying to the All Blacks that if they don't sign with the New Zealand Union by the time the New Zealand team is needed to be announced for the second Bledisloe Cup test in the series, then they won't be picked for the Sydney game. This is information that's unconfirmed about the All Blacks, but we have it from a very usually reliable source. So there's a lot happening outside the field of play today as well. Joe Roth, 14 minutes gone, second half. He hit it low and flat, and it's curled over!
Well, that's a great kick from Rob. 19-year-old, really difficult circumstances, and he's put that one at the goalpost. It's bounced and gone over. 16-12 Australia.
It was a dying quail, I think, up there, John, but it just hit the crossbar and slid over. A great kick by Roth. And great players do great things. We could be seeing a new star on the Wallaby scene. The young man coming in for David Campese. On the New Zealand side. Lost by Mehrtens. Here's a look at it again from Roth with the left foot. It was looking as though it was curling away about here, wasn't it? It was definitely gone, but it came back, it hit this post and then the crossbar and went over. 16-12 Australia lead. 25 minutes left in the Bledisloe Cup game. Bob Dwyer's down out of the stand.
Wallabies clearing up towards halfway. All Blacks have got to get some pattern to their game. You can't just run the ball wide. In international rugby, you must drive the team backwards and turn them. And right now, they're going to have to get down into Wallaby territory.
You know, if you add up the minutes in the last couple of internationals the All Blacks have played, they haven't scored a try now for 2.5 hours of rugby. And this from a side which is moving the ball. Things aren't just going right at crucial times. Here's Osborne. Here's bounced it to touch.
Great kick, Glenn Osborne. Read it well, waited for the ball, and then he's curled it into touch. He's kicked it 45 metres, bouncing just inches inside the touch line. Referee very unhappy with line-out time.
Little Steve Merrick there, the halfback from Singleton. He's got the tattoo of the Phantom across his chest. Tough little coal truck driver from New South Wales. 3 hours drive from Sydney in the Hunter Valley. Penalty for New Zealand.
Dan Crowley penalised for getting across the line before the ball had been thrown in. Vital mistake. Kickable penalty. The rain comes down.
So this to close the gap as the rain is back. And that's away from Mehrtens. The New Zealand reserves are sheltering. Zinzan injured to the left. What's happening out here, John? New Zealand are playing well, but they're not getting any tries.
Well, I think it's as I said just a while ago, Keith. Honestly, I think it's all very well to run the ball, but you run yourself out of a game at times, and they've lost a little bit of pattern. I think they need to get more control up front, put the ball behind, and maybe work their loose forwards into the game. If I had Michael Jones there now, I'd be looking to punch off him a bit.
Scott Bowen drops out. The minutes are ticking away. We're at the three-quarter mark in the game now. 16-12 Australia lead.
Rough call there, I think, on the All Blacks. But the scrum has gone to Australia. The Australian scrum is under pressure. Has been all game.
Number 9, Steve Merrick with the ball. You know, he's never met Michael Lynagh, and that's an indication of how short a time he's been at the top in Australia. Michael Lynagh heads out of the team. Steve Merrick comes in. He's way out in the country and has never met the great man. Here is Osborne. A pass off to Lomu. A charge down. The bounce is the thing. Sort that one out, Mr. Referee. Osborne got it first, but it was touch and go, and nearly a disaster for big Jonah Lomu.
Well, I think that's what I've been talking about. You know, you can do just too much. Lomu wrong-footed, tries to kick, charge down, and then there's a run. But now it's a Wallaby scrum.
Merrick. Back to Gavin. And Tim Gavin gets his big mitts around it. Pulls an All Black leg away.
The Wallabies are calling for a deliberate knock-on then by the All Blacks and stifling that attack. They get the knock-on, get the scrum, move towards the middle of the field.
Tim Gavin, Steve Merrick, Tim Horan up from fullback where he's temporarily playing. He's very strong as Merrick, that's him under there. But they're lacking a halfback at the moment. Corner flag is in the background. This is a concentrated attack by Australia. And inside the last quarter, they're in a pretty good position at the moment in the game.
Crucial time for both sides. Australia must score to get out of it. New Zealand just can't afford to concede. A very vital period of a time.
Damien Smith is the injured man.
this is where you possibly see the folly of having 2 back reserves, because the Wallaby side, I think the only other back reserve they have today is George Gregan. And if Damien Smith is injured, there's going to be a lot of shuffling in the team. But he's back and playing.
Australia hot on attack. A try here might put them out of reach of the All Blacks inside the last quarter.
I don't think the Wallabies can afford to go too long at scrum time. They're going to have to use this ball.
Merrick gets to Jason Little awkwardly. Lovely run by Little. 7 or 8 metres out. Merrick digs deep. Narrow side, he's got lots of aggression, but maybe took the wrong option there. He had 4 to the right. They've got a penalty.
Well, there you saw, well, what currently we see Sean Fitzpatrick asking the referee. You saw the brilliance of Jason Little. He got the ball back deep and he has surged back in towards the goalpost to win the ruck for Australia and the penalty. Jason Little, a world-class midfield back. He really had to come back from a poor pass from a halfback. Not sure what we'll see, but here you see him making a surging run. Tackled, but still make sure he falls and turns. And then the All Blacks get penalised as they dive in to deny the Wallabies the ball.
Joe Roff is the godson of Greg Cornelson, who once scored 4 tries on this ground for the Wallabies and clinched a famous victory in 1978.
Vital penalty to Australia to get them to a 7-point gap.
The young fellow has the 3rd choice goal kicker today for Australia, and he's already kicked 3 vital goals. The Bledisloe Cup is hanging in the balance at the moment at Eden Park. And the pressure was too much that time for Joe Robb. It's unchanged. Australia is still in the lead by 16 to 12. "16 minutes showing on the clock. That's what's left. Tim Horan, the substitute fullback. So good to see him back on Eden Park after that horrific knee injury of last year in the Super 10 final. And he keeps the ball in play. And here's Pat Howard. Merrick. Bowen, a pass to Smith. And the referee's ruled a forward pass against Scott Bowen.
Line ball call, but I think he may be right. Now the All Blacks, can they? We'll watch Bowen now. He passed it slightly in behind, but line ball.
Basham, Mehrtens, Little, Mehrtens on the loop. Osborne up. Michael Jones, so handy, along with the double attack of Kronfeld there too. Mehrtens, Lomu. A great tackle by Daniel Manu on Lomu. Well, 3 points is no good to the All Blacks with a quarter of an hour to go.
Big run from Jonah Lomu, but what a tackle. Lomu in the clear, and I think it's Manu who goes round the only place you can. Right round the legs. Well played. Jonah Lomu got to his feet, surged again, and then it's the Wallabies trying to win the ball who are penalised for pushing it back with the hands.
What a tackle by Daniel Manu. He came on for a few minutes only in the World Cup for one part of one cap. This is his first full test. What a place to play it on. He went to school. He lived in this town. And what a tackle that was. It justified his selection, I suppose, in one incident.
I followed him across the field then, Keith. He was coming from a long way away, and he really made the effort to make the tackle.
Lomu looking good there, but Manu's tackle was great.
Now it's the All Blacks' time at penalty time to try and turn the knife a little and get back into the game. Joe Roth, a very serious miss just a few minutes ago. Now Andrew Mehrtens, who'll want to make sure of this one.
What a super goal by Andrew Mehrtens. It's a 1-point ball game, 30 minutes to play.
Really got a game on our hands now. Have to favour the All Blacks, as long as they can keep control.
On the Australian side, to Merrick, to Howard, to Bowen, to Little, to Smith, to Kearns, who meets Sean Fitzpatrick. It's the 13th time those two hookers have opposed each other in Bledisloe Cup and Australia-New Zealand games. 6 wins each to Fitzpatrick and Kearns.
Good play by the Australian backs there, but the All Black defence equal to it. A forward pass has given them the scrum. That's a better clearance from Andrew Mehrtens.
You could hear the whack of the ball on the boot then, John. Sounded like a well-hit goal shot, didn't it?
Kept his head down and kicked through the ball.
Same principle of the golf swing.
Line out. Warwick War. Can he win one? Will it be John Eales? Or will it be Robin Brooke?
Thrown to the back where Tim Gavin gets it away to Willie O. The game's only try scorer so far. Merrick. Smith. Fitzpatrick threw him down. 22-metre line is just here. And War.
Australia just too slow to get that ball away from the ruck. It stayed there for them. It was a very vital play. And they've now conceded again. Damien Smith coming into the game on the right wing.
Mehrtens to the open side. That's one that's a high bounce near halfway. Well picked up by Horan. He's doing well back there at fullback. The crowd calling for an obstruction perhaps by Smith. And now Pat Howard is into space. Manu caught by Fitzpatrick. Lost forward by Daniel Manu. He's had some very good moments in the game. Fitzpatrick made a couple of good stops in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, good defence. Good play from Timmy Horan too.
Michael Jones, number 19, in the back of the scrum. That's kicked from Mehrtens to Horan. Punched again by Horan to a catch by 15 Osborne. And now it's Pat Howard. Getting back. Lomu is coming. Look out for Lomu. Pat Howard spins it across the goalpost. Roth in trouble.
Well, the Wallabies have made a tragic mistake. Pat Howard and Joe Roth, when it should have been cleared, tried to run the ball, and the All Blacks just knew if they could make the tackle, the Wallabies were in trouble, and so they are. Penalty close to the post. Should have been cleared. Pat Howard had the chance to kick it. He gave it to Roth. Roth did well in many ways. He had 3 or 4 people at him. But finally, he didn't let the ball go as the All Blacks came into the ruck, and he's been penalised.
This to give New Zealand the lead. And the crowd tells you New Zealand are now 18, Australia 16, 9 minutes to play.
In the end, the All Blacks get there because of some very good work from Glenn Osborne, who made a great save down on his own territory and kicked deep.
So 5 penalties and a drop goal by Andrew Mehrtens is all of New Zealand's points. He's up with his average as a test player. The Aussies are desperate now. Merrick, Bowen, Osborne under it. It's on the Australian side to Howard. Steve Merrick, brand new scrum half. John Eales. Willie O. That's the goal line coming to the top of the picture. And Bassett gives it a thump. It hasn't found touch. Roth. Just a bit slow again, Roth. Now Horan is caught. Brewer was the tackler. Merrick, Scott Bowen, Joe Roth. 25 metres out, the Aussies again. Ward turns and feeds off to Damien Smith, the winger, who's right in the thick of it there. And now it's nice work by Scott Bowen to Jason Little at the 22. Merrick, Australia, the Bledisloe Cup holders. They're putting it on the All Blacks now. That's off one of the Australians. Bowen.
And to penalise Mike Brewer.
He's penalised Mike Brewer for being, and they want the touch judge to ask him. It's a penalty to
He's
Australia.
staying with the penalty, but I think you'll find there was a charge down. And the All Blacks are asking, but I'm sure that the referee has made a serious mistake.
Here it is here. Now, the sound may not be on this replay, but it seemed to come off Joe Roth after the kick by Osborne. I said it at the time in the commentary, John. You could hear it, right?
The referee has just apologised to the All Blacks. I have made a mistake.
Well,
it's a big mistake.
There's nothing he can do there. He can only consult the touch judge on foul play, I think. That's what the New Zealand team were asking.
I think they were asking then for the touch judge, but what is happening? They're not shooting for goal. Wow.
I wonder if that's a sporting decision by Australia not to go for goal because it was a mistake by the referee.
I doubt it. I don't think the Australians are that sporting.
Roth could have got one from there, John. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. It certainly would have been worth a shot. Eales and War, the two locks. Daniel Manu, who's had a brilliant second half. 5 minutes in the game. New Zealand are in the lead by 2. A penalty here wouldn't help. Here's the man New Zealand will look to for the clearance. It's turned out to be a thrilling match in the traditions of recent Bledisloe Cup games. Well played by Horan again. Trapped it with his toes. Punches it ahead. Holding up in the breeze. Osborne, fair catch. And the fullback was up. So Osborne kicks it quickly and gets a good distance. It's a Bledisloe Cup thriller, but you know the Bledisloe Cup wasn't always a high priority for New Zealand and Australia. In fact, the cup was lost for several years and found in Melbourne. That was in the 1960s. Mark Hartle, who played in the Bledisloe Cup winning team here on this ground in '86, back in the Aussie team today. Jason Little, the Aussies are desperate. John Eales at halfway. An advantage for the All Blacks. Wilson and Rock. Horan is back for the touchdown, a 5-metre scrum.
The inexperience of Daniel Manu showing again, another knock forward at a vital time, giving the ball to the All Blacks. The pressure of Test match rugby. Horan going back, wins the chase. Well played. Well chased, Jeff Wilson. 3 minutes left.
Basham away to Mehrtens with the drop kick. And it's 21 points to New Zealand, 21 to Mehrtens. The second drop goal.
Great kick, straight back to him, and look, it's gone as true as you could get. The young man is certainly a grand controller of the drop kick.
Not only has Andrew Mehrtens scored all the points for New Zealand in this Test match, but in the last 2 Test matches, he's scored all the points for New Zealand as well. 21 to 16. Let's go to Greg Cooper.
We have fantastic drop goal there by Andrew Mehrtens. Hit it sweetly, never looked like missing, and he's an exceptional footballer.
Bunce floating to the centre to Brewer, to Wilson. Here comes a try for the Lomu man. And the Bledisloe Cup is going to come home to Auckland and to New Zealand. Jonah Lomu runs on nuclear-free Taro. That's what the sign says.
Well, this try goes to Frank Bunce. He had 2 on him, he split 5 tackles, and then he got clear. He knew that the midfield was where the action would be. He fired a pass. The pass went to Mike Brewer, who did well to control it. Jeff Wilson put in the clear. Horan comes across, but Lomu's in the clear, and it's a try to the New Zealand All Blacks, and the victory is theirs.
Right on time, right when they needed it. A look at this, the cool approach of Frank Bunce, never rattled. And Brewer too controlled it, tipped it to Wilson. A generous pass by Wilson. They wanted to make sure, and who better to give it to than the big man? And he's in. So Mehrtens' record of scoring all the points goes out the window. He won't mind, I'm sure. What a run by Bunce. Cracked open the Australians, burst through the tacklers, made the space, flung the pass, and when it was finished by Lomu. Great kick from Mehrtens, 28 to 16. Bunce made the try. Lomu scored it. Mehrtens goaled it, 28 to 16.
Great finish by the All Blacks. There's one more kickoff in the game.
The All Blacks have scored 16 points in the last 13 minutes to come back from 16-15 down to 28-16 ahead, and it's over, and the Bledisloe Cup is back in New Zealand. It was a thriller at Eden Park, and a big finish sees New Zealand home by 12 points. But hold on, 7 days from now, this team will do it all again with this famous trophy at stake. Presented first in 31. Here we are in 95. Jonah Lomu scored the clinching try. And the big fellow adds to his reputation. The only try for New Zealand in the game. Fitzpatrick. The Bledisloe Cup is New Zealand. It's not the World Cup. But my word, it was very important for New Zealand to secure this win today.